this lesson is 2.9 DI, that the reader will recognize the central idea and supporting evidence with adult assistance. This is selected because it is in the teacher's district planning map as what to teach this week.
All right, so the text I've chosen for this lesson is a large Time for Kids article titled The Amazing Helen Keller. This comes from Harvey and Goodvis's Comprehension Toolkit. They have several large Time for Kid articles. They are big with fabulous information and really cool text features. So I think the students are really gonna like using this text. And a lesson in the toolkit on determining importance versus determining what's interesting, I'm going to adapt for the language of our TEKS. Here are my lesson materials, my text, my chart paper for my anchor chart, my markers for my anchor chart. I've got an anchor chart sketch where I've kind of thought through what I want the anchor chart to include. And then I've got my Post-its, and that's what we're going to use to mark our text evidence in our large article. So my time frame is about goal of 20 to 25 minutes for this lesson. I'll start by calling the kids to the carpet. That just reminds me I need to make sure this teacher has an easel so that I can display the article on it. I know she has a smart board, but I'm going to need to make sure she has an easel. So got to do that. It'll be displayed on the easel or whatever we have, and I'll call the kids to the carpet, and I'm going to first start the lesson by asking about their desks and what the most important part of their desk is and why. Typically, kids will tell me it's the top of their desk because it's the part they use the most, and so we'll talk a little bit about comparing their desks to informational text, how just like their desk has the top and the legs, so does informational text. The most important part being the central idea. It's what it's mostly about, but it couldn't just be built with that alone. It has to have supporting details to hold up that central idea. So we'll talk about that, how all informational text is kind of built within that structure, and to be on the lookout for the central idea and supporting details as they read informational text. From there, we'll turn our attention to the article. We'll talk about the title, make some predictions, build some background. I'll show them how the text is structured chronologically. And then we'll go ahead and read the text. I'm not quite sure what engagement strategy we'll use in shared reading. We could have, this side of the room, read a section, that side of the room read a section. I could call individual students up. I could read and invite them to read along. I haven't decided that yet. We'll just see how it goes. I'll let you know. So, but their goal being that they read to find out about her amazing life and the things that she did. And we're also going to then use our Post-it notes and actually stick them in the text where we locate the central idea and the supporting details. I'm not quite sure how much support they're going to need for that, so it'll be interesting to see. So we'll read through the text, stop to discuss it along the way. After we're done, we'll discuss what we learned about her, and then we'll go back and mark our text evidence. So about 5 minutes for kind of that before, reading, about probably 10 minutes for that during in the discussion, and about 5 minutes for the after, coming back and marking the text evidence. From there, I'll close the lesson out reminding kids again about our anchor chart and how informational text is all built the same way, and to be on the lookout for those things the next time they read informational text. So I can't wait to do this lesson. I'm super excited about how it's going to go. So stay tuned and I'll get back with you and let you know. So the lesson was so fun to teach. I was aiming for about a 20-25 minute time frame. That's about exactly where we ended up with that. In the first part of the lesson, again, we created the anchor chart. I made the comparison of their desk to how informational text is built. We then built some schema and background on the article we read. I also gave them a reading/listening job, was going to be to try to locate the central idea and supporting details, and I showed them the Post-it notes, then I would let them come up and take turns marking in the text. So I did make a little shift in my original plan. Instead of looking at an overall central idea and supporting details for the one text, I decided to break the text into 3 separate parts. That way we could practice finding the central idea and some supporting details of each section. I was really pleased that I actually made that shift, because after we would read each section and we would talk about it, then we could go ahead and have kids come up and mark in the text where those were. So we took one section at a time, each section taking us about 3 to 4 minutes a piece. The first time they needed a lot of support, but by the last section, they were really getting the hang of it, which made me super excited. So they're gonna need more help with this. I think this TEKS is with adult assistance in Texas for a reason, because it's hard for them to zoom out in informational text. They love the interesting stuff. They loved learning about her. They have a lot of questions about her. They want to do some more research about her, which I think is great. But we still need to provide a lot of support with them with central idea and supporting details, because it just takes a lot of practice to get those bigger ideas from the text. Just like in fiction, we got to zoom out for theme. Those are taking practice too. So all in all, super pleased with the lesson. They loved the article. So we're not finished with central idea and supporting details, but overall a really nice start.